Yo, what is up you guys, this is Liaison and welcome back to another CSGO video. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you 5 quick tips to get better aim in CSGO. Okay, so my first tip is to find your perfect / optimum sensitivity in CSGO. Now, this would allow you to get the maximum performance while playing CSGO. Obviously, there's so many factors and variables that come into it, but it will massively increase your performance in CSGO with the AK1 dabs, with the better sprays, with just everything, with having a better aim, and this is all down to your perfect sensitivity. Now, to find your so-called quote-unquote perfect sensitivity, you want to hop over to CoreHaven's video, where he talks about this concept by Impulsive, who is a pro. I'm not sure if he's still pro, maybe an ex-pro, not 100% sure on that, but he talks about this concept where Impulsive explains how you can find your perfect sensitivity in CSGO. Now, this video is about 40 minutes long, it takes a while, but it's very effective. I did this a while back and my sensitivity dropped massively. I used to be playing at 3.8, changed to 2.8, and now my aim has just increased absolutely massively. Now, you're probably thinking, I've been with the sensitivity that you're playing with for quite a while and you don't want to change it because it may mess you up. And that's true for me. When I changed my sensitivity originally, I felt in game, I was a bit like conscious. I was like, oh gosh, I've just missed a load of easy shots, the sensitivity's messing me up, I'm not turning enough, I'm moving too much, that kind of stuff. But honestly, once you get used to it, I honestly feel that I've improved a lot. And doing the test that you do in CoreHaven's video, my sensitivity and my aim was definitely better on the spot in the middle. It was just like a lot better at this lower sensitivity. Okay, so for tip number 2, I'm talking about Crosshair. Now, Crosshair, you're probably thinking, oh, I've got a pro Crosshair, I've got, Olivemeister's Crosshair, I've got Scream's Crosshair, that must make me play like him. Everybody is different. Crosshair is personal to you. You don't see pros all using the same one. There's not like a Crosshair which is like universal and everyone can use it and everyone's amazing with it. Like, obviously there's Crosshairs which are good, but it's all about you personally. So I recommend the Crash's Crosshair Generator version 2. This is a map where you can look at all the pros Crosshair. They all have a very similar style. They're all just basically the gap in the middle and there's just 4 lines coming off going into the center, but they don't actually touch. Now, that's a very common Crosshair and they're all they variate in size and thickness and color, but they're all mainly the same. There are a few different ones, and personally at the moment I use a different one. I use a kind of variation of Simple's Crosshair, because Simple's Crosshair, once you start shooting it actually becomes bigger and it opens up to how where your AK bullets could be going when you're spraying. So if I start spraying with the AK, the Crosshair gets a lot bigger, and I actually really like this because it helps me more understand about how my bullets could be going and helps me perfect my aim to the enemy. But it's all about personal use. You want to be going into this map, you want to be testing out Crosshairs. There are bots in there, you can be practice you can be shooting bots. Then it's not just about picking a Crosshair, testing it 5 minutes and be like, this is terrible. You want to probably pick a Crosshair, do a bit of warming up with it, test it out in a comp, and if it's still bad then move on to another one. But it's all about picking one, getting used to it, and just your performance will increase if you find a really good one that's suitable to you. Okay, so my third tip is resolution. Now, resolution is a very tricky thing in CSGO. Everyone wants to be playing at this 1080p beautiful, well, if you have a 1080p monitor, maybe you have a 720p monitor or some other custom resolution in between that, or even below. You probably want to be playing at that because it looks beautiful. But if you want to become better in CSGO, I would recommend 4:3. Now, if you don't know what 4:3 is, I will leave a link to Nick Bunyan's 4:3 resolution explanation video. He basically just sums it all up in a quick video, and it's very simple and easy to understand. To sum it up, it says that the hitboxes are bigger when using 4:3, so it does make it easier to hit those headshots, hit those targets with your AWP or just with an AK or whatever gun you're using. But personally, every pro is different. Every pro uses different resolutions. 4:3, not 4:3, 10:9, 10. Everyone is different, and I recommend using a site which is http://csgoconfigs.com/pros. Now, here you can see all the pros, you can see their configs, you can also see the sensitivity, you can see their DPIs, you can see all their settings and their configs, and you can basically just mess around, maybe find one that fits for you. And I would just really recommend 4:3 because it does make it easier, it does make it easier to hit those headshots, and all around it will just make you better at aiming. Tip number 4. Now, this is the most important one: practice. Now, honestly, how much practice do you put into CSGO, you'll be thinking? Honestly, you're not going to get the best aim in the world if your practice is going into a deathmatch server and playing for 10 minutes. Now obviously this warms you up a little bit and maybe makes you perform a little bit better in game. What I would recommend is fast aim / reflex training. Now this is a map where you spawn and you're in the center and the bots can't get you to you, but they're running at you with knives, and you basically have to shoot them, and you can't let them, because if they get to you they fall to their death, and the aim is to not let them fall to their death. You're trying to kill them with the AK, with the M4, with the Deagle, whatever gun you are using. Now this map is very good because it not only warms you up for people running at you or just moving hitboxes like it is in a real comp. It makes you get better aim, better performance, and just gets you used to, if you were testing out new crosshair, it can be really helpful to use on this kind of map, or if you're testing out new sensitivity, again really helpful to use this kind of map to test out. And now the other one that I use to practice is aimbots. Now this is a map where you basically just stood. There's a few options you can do in the settings, but to start off with, the default is you just stood and there's bots all around you. You can pick your weapon of choice and you basically just have to tap the bot's head. Obviously you can spray, but to warm up I usually tap. I usually go for 200 taps with the AK, then I move on to 50 spray, because I don't do half as many spray because I know if my tapping's better I won't need to spray anyway, but I still do 50 spray anyway with the AK to just get used to it, just get to warm up. Once I've then warmed up, I move on to fast aim / reflex training, which I do 100 bots on that, and then I go to a FAA server and an AWP deathmatch. I'll explain that one in the next tip. Okay, so the next tip is time. Now, it's all about how much time you actually put into CSGO. If you're playing for an hour a day, then that's sure, fun, you can have a cheeky comp out of that. But you're not becoming an amazing aimer out of this. Obviously you might have like a natural talent, but that's going to be like very rare. You're going to need to put in these hours of CSGO to get better. So to start with, I recommend doing a warm-up before each game. Now, some of the time, I just don't do this myself. If I'm rushing, I haven't got too much time, I just I want to play comp. And honestly, that's fine. If you miss a warm-up, it's absolutely fine. But if you do warm up, it's going to make you play better. What I would recommend doing is going into the map aimbots, which I'll leave in the description, is on the screen right now, and I'll just tap 200 bots head, 200, 250, 100, whatever time you got for. Then I would go for about 50 sprays, because honestly it just helps a lot. Then I would move into a FAA server, which is a free-for-all server, where basically it's like deathmatch, like the normal CSGO deathmatching, but with this one you can kill your own team as well, so it's just free-for-all. You don't have to be like, oh, that's my teammate, can't shoot him, run around, find another enemy, kill him. You can just kill anyone. It's a lot better for warming up. There's a lot more people around, there's a lot more action, there's a lot more oh, he spawned behind me, fast turn, shoot. Not that kind of can't find anyone, kind of boring deathmatch, which is on the normal default CSGO. And then after that, I hop onto the AWP deathmatch, which is basically exactly the same thing, but instead you've got an AWP, and it's usually on a map like the AWP Lego map or whatever, and you usually have teams and you're just shooting the other team, and it's all about winning the round and that kind of stuff. This warms me up a lot because I do like to consider myself an AWPer, so it's very important to not only do the taps on the maps, but also to warm up with the AWP if you're an AWPer. Obviously if you're a rifler, you might not want to warm up with the AWP, you might just want to do a cheeky bit with maybe some submachine guns, all that kind of stuff. But it's just all up to personal use and choice, and just warming up the weapons you're going to be using in game. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully it wasn't too long, just giving you 5 quick and easy tips to get better at CSGO. So sensitivity, crosshair, resolution, practice and time, and all these things take time to work out, so I guess time is the key tip here. But yeah, this was Liaison, goodbye for now.